What up? Seth Miranda here. This is Adorama Rewind, and whoa, is this show growing. Yet again, last week we had one of the most highest viewed episodes of this series, and just to let you know, you're all a part of being 1 in a million because we are so close to getting to 1 million subscribers right here on Adorama TV, and you know Adorama is going to do something big for it. So do us all a favor, share this channel around, go into the photo communities, drop some videos, and let's get the subscriber base up to 1 million. We're so close, we're inching up on it, and you guys are all part of it. So from me and everyone here at Adorama on the content team, thank you so much for being part of it. Let's get right into this. So judge rules fair use in photographer's copyright case against Andy Warhol. Yeah, so this is the original photo. This is the Andy Warhol, and Lynn Goldsmith took this photo as a commission for Vanity Fair back in the early 80s. Vanity Fair then took licensing and sold it for about $400. Warhol picked it up and created 16 pieces of artwork from various photos, including the Prince image. And the judge said, nope, it's changed enough. In fact, if you look down here, I'll only bring up the quote. Right here, the humanity Prince embodies in Goldsmith's photograph is gone. Moreover, each Prince series work is immediately recognizable as a Warhol rather than as a photograph of Prince, in the same way that Warhol's famous representation of Marilyn Monroe and Mao are recognizable as Warhols, not realistic photographs of those persons. Take that for what you will. I would say that if you put both those images up, 9 times out of 10 people would recognize that as a Warhol rather than the photo that Lynn Goldsmith took. So this is the world we're living in. It is what it is. It is fair use apparently by this judge's ruling. Does this hurt some other photographers in this case? Does this hurt other things that we've progressed with as photographers? I don't know. I can tell you that I try to side with the photographers as much as I can, but if they didn't use this photo, they would have used Warhol would have used something else, and he would have created this work regardless. One way or another, there was going to be works created based on Prince at the level of celebrity that he was at, especially with Warhol in that era when he was using constant pop culture references in his work, and he was, you know, you couldn't get away from Warhol in that era, right? Like everything was that guy. So I don't know. Take Warhol for what you will, love him, hate him. Take the work for what you will, love it or hate it. But this is what happened, and I think it's worth discussion. So let me know down below what you think. Is this really fair use in a social level? Do you think that this is wrecked? Do you think the Lynn Goldsmith had a case here? I don't know. Let me know down below. I really want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Let's get out of the legal a little bit and go into some gear news. This is just a rumor. I repeat, this is just a rumor. There's no actual facts on this yet. It's just mutterings, but they're saying Nikon's going to ditch 1/3 of its DSLR lineup and shift to mirrorless. I don't know. So we're looking at the lineup right here. They're saying that the D3500, D5600, and D500, these three will not be replaced, meaning that they will actually have a new model to take its slot in the lineup, probably mirrorless. If you ask me, the D3500, the D500, D5600, all a great level of camera for mirrorless, right? The D3500 is one of the biggest sellers for entry-level photographers, and now with mirrorless, they can see their exposure in real time, maybe learn it a little faster, keep it smaller, want to carry it around more, use it more, grow with it more. I don't know if this is true, right? This is, again, just a rumor. I hate reporting rumors, but I thought that the idea of a legacy brand replacing certain tiers of cameras with mirrorless and not others is interesting. In fact, they're saying that the D5, D850, D750, and D7500 may just get DSLR replacements. We do hear mutterings about a D6 out there. They're saying that's a DSLR optical viewfinder, and it might have internal body stabilization, which is awesome. Is this going backwards? Is this not progressing forward? It's hard to say because everyone thinks mirrorless is the future or even the present, right? When you look at pro photographers out there, not a lot are shooting mirrorless as far as photojournalism and sports photography. If you look around at those sidelines, a lot of it's still DSLRs. They've been way more reliable over the years. In fact, they've had a legacy to be reliable. Mirrorless hasn't been around long enough to even see how long they hold up. That being said, there are pros that do use mirrorless. It's up to you, the shooter, what works for you, and it's up to you as the professional what you trust your workflow with. Do you want a Nikon D5 workhorse, which you can beat the hell out of, and it'll probably still go forward? The 1DX Mark II, another legacy camera. We're seeing that Nikon might not be totally jumping all mirrorless all the way. In fact, what's probably happening here is that the DSLRs were already in development for years before we even saw the Z series, and now they're releasing everything they've spent money on research and development. So who knows, right? They did say they do have a D5 level mirrorless in the works, but I don't think they're walking away completely from the DSLR optical viewfinder altogether. However, Canon is doing some really interesting stuff. Check this out. Canon's crowdfunding a clippable camera through Indiegogo. Yeah, so they're saying it's about the size of a USB thumb drive, 13 megapixel, 1/3 inch sensor, 1080 video. It is waterproof to up to 1 meter for 30 minutes. And they're saying that this where is it? Let me see, hold on guys, sorry. This right here, the clip, could be the viewfinder for you. And if you look at the Indiegogo page, it's sitting right here. If you sign up for it to get the newsletter, early birds get 30% off. It's waterproof, shockproof, wireless connectivity. It's just a little camera you clip onto your bag and just kind of keep there, I guess. However, what's really fun, let me bring this up one more time. Right over here, you'll see right here, it says, no fragile screen to crack. The clip doubles as a viewfinder. Is that a shot at iPhones? Is that a shot at the smartphone world being the point and shoot? Could this be something that's really cool? What is Canon doing going to Indiegogo and seeing and testing the waters, putting their toe in a little bit rather than actually funding it and going forward? Is this a sign of weakness, or is this them getting up to date with what's really going on out there? Are they turning into a company like Peak Design that knows what's really going on out there and watching how people actually want gear, right? I don't know, you tell me, do you think this is a sign of Canon going, I don't know, we're unsure, or is this a sign of Canon going forward, trying to listen to the audience? I'm really curious to know what you think about that. In some other news, Mac has issued kind of a recall from a 2015 MacBook Pro, and the MacBook Pro from that era is still sought after by photographers because it has a SD card slot, normal USB A type ports, a smaller trackpad instead of taking up the entire base of the keyboard. It's really durable, but apparently some serial numbers had this happen to it. The battery just exploded. Yeah, so check this out. It could actually go on fire. So mid-2015, 15-inch Retina MacBook Pros might be susceptible to a battery exploding. Keep in mind, you got a serial number on the bottom of your laptop right in this area. So head over to the link I'm putting down below. It's for the 15-inch MacBook Pro Battery Recall Program. And just type in your serial number and it'll tell you if you have an affected model. If not, congratulations. I didn't. I still love that 2015 MacBook. It's still one of my faves. I miss the SD card slots so much, so much. I don't know what's going on over there, Mac. What, dad went away and now we don't know what to do? I don't know. Is anybody else like upset about the way the designs are going? The USB-C thing was like such a shock and people got so upset over it. Was it a big deal? Is it a big deal to you? Everyone puts those adapters in for everything I save on the laptop. Space-wise, I have 10 pounds of dongles and all sorts of stuff. So I don't know. Is it an issue for you, or are we finally moving forward to one type of port, USB-C? I don't know, but I do know that all my cameras still use some sort of memory card, and that SD slot saved me a million times in the field, hands down. So the 4th of July just happened here in America. I mean, I don't know where you're watching, but Independence Day, we had a lot of fireworks, lots of fun, always a great time. And NASA decided to show you guys some stuff from Hubble, where there's a fireworks show happening in space. Look at this. This is insane. It looks fake, right? This is bananas. So apparently this started 170 years ago. It's an exploding star. And if you check this out, it's a video that basically shows you what it is, what happened, why it happened, and then some amazing imagery from Hubble of these explosions that happened out in space. Again, I always tell you guys, I love this stuff. They're saying that this explosion had the weight of 150 suns. Whoa! In fact, some astronomers thought that this was the brink of complete destruction when they saw it. Kind of crazy, right? I don't know what to make of that, but I do know it's super beautiful. I absolutely love when I see NASA release stuff like this, and I always learn something because it's an area of photography I never touch. If you're an astrophotographer, let me know what you think about this down below. It's pretty interesting, and apparently it's so bright, sailors used it as a navigation point at some time. Like, this is nuts. You can't beat it. I just love this kind of stuff. speaking of things that imploded, Facebook and Instagram went down globally. Yeah, so for a little while we lost the ability to upload and load photos. I know story modes weren't working and stuff like that. People were getting broken image icons on Facebook and Instagram for a minute. And people actually panicked. A lot of, I'm sure, influencers, people that rested their businesses on social heavily were like, what? Once again, like I've said in the past, this is what happens when you build your house in other people's backyards. If Instagram decides to go down, if a bunch of billionaires get together and just buy it all up and just shut it down, they could wreck a complete set of industries out there overnight, right? It's kind of crazy. I guess, you know, we should really start looking into having our own houses built where we can manage the property, meaning websites. And, you know, the way you got to look at social is it's supplemental. And while people check it more than your own actual site, at least when it goes down and you need to show some sort of portfolio or push work around a sling links, you can have your own set base for it instead of worrying if Instagram is going to work that day. So keep that in mind. You think it's never going to go away. It's so big. It could go down anytime. So watch that, kids. You know, just watch that. In other technological stuff, Apple, even though your MacBook 15s are exploding right now, apparently they're working on correcting your gaze in video calls. What does this mean? Look at this. So apparently if you're looking away, it can actually auto-correct your eyes to look like you're making eye contact with the person you're speaking with. What? So now we can't just have, we have altered images in post, and now we have real-time altering of images, including actual conversations. They're trying to keep intimacy together. If anything, it'll make people more lazy to not even want to genuinely engage with you. If it's a false intimacy, the person that eyes are being corrected isn't connected with you at all. What are we doing with these virtual interfaces? I don't get it. That is kind of to me. I don't know. But let's bring it back to actual connection. I don't know if you realize this, but we had a solar eclipse. Yeah, it's true. This is the second time in 2 years that we had a solar eclipse. There are people that would never have a solar eclipse happen in their lifetime. We got to have two, and apparently there's another one coming in a few years from now. But this iconic 2019 solar eclipse, look at these captures. Really beautiful. Shot on Nikon Z7. Really amazing stuff. This photographer really planned it out. They went full on in the first eclipse, and they got prepared for this one. And apparently Ted Hesser, Solar Eclipse 2019, you see that? So I'm gonna put the link down below. Please check it out. It's really beautiful. And apparently they followed him around with an ARRI to document it on video as well. It's really easy to figure out where to be during a solar eclipse. There's tons of apps. Stan Honda, who has spoken here at Adorama, has done live streams on our channel. You can go on facebook.com/Adorama and look for the Stan Honda videos from the live streams. And he'll tell you a bunch of apps, bunch of sites, bunch of ways to map out where to be, when to be there, how to shoot an actual eclipse. And this guy really went the extra mile and actually staged, posed models. Beautiful, really great stuff. I really love this kind of stuff. It really makes me psyched up. And speaking of Mother Nature, this was sent to me by a very well-known wedding photographer who's done a ton of work out there. And this seemed like a very lighthearted story when it came to butterflies when they were released in honor of a groom's late sister for a wedding. And apparently they just like hung around and stuck to people for some really memorable photos. Yeah, this is all well and great, but here's the thing. I can't speak for the specific case, but a lot of wedding photographers are telling me that what they really do is capture these butterflies, put them in envelopes or little Tupperware containers and freeze them so that they calm down and kind of go to sleep. And then when they release them, they kind of stick around. They're just confused, lethargic, coming out of a coma. They're not really being friendly. I don't know what to say about that. You tell me what you think about that. Some people see it as cruel. Other people just go, meh. I mean, the wedding industry will do a lot of things to sell to people. I don't know what to say about this one, but yeah, you got memorable photos, and the photos are pretty kitschy and cute, but what you're really looking at is half a comed, frozen-brained butterflies there. And I'm gonna cap it out with this one that really kind of made me smile. The world's smallest view camera. Yeah, so look at this little guy. I love how they use a wheatback penny for this too. Yeah, so this photographer who lives in Brooklyn, whoop whoop, put a 1-inch cube and made a view camera out of it. There's the pieces right there. It's about $100 of material, a lot of machine work going into it, meticulous work. A handmade bellows, which are awesome, and I did this before for, I'll tell you about in a minute, but this is really awesome. And here's the finished camera, and it looks really cute. And then here's a photo from it. There's a self-portrait. There's his face right there. Of course, it's gonna be grainy. It's on a tiny piece of film, and the less film size, just like a sensor or resolution, is going to affect the grain count. So it took about 2 weeks or 30 hours of his time to create. Really awesome. I love this kind of stuff. It just reminds you that a camera is nothing more than a box that lets a certain amount of light in for a certain amount of time. And I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow on Adorama's Facebook, even showing into depth more about that in a minute. But as far as the bellows go, I remember making bellows myself for a Byron conversion for a Polaroid 110B camera. If you don't know what that is, look up Byron, B-Y-R-O-N, conversion for 110B Polaroid camera. I handmade them, and then I had to finish this camera, and now I have it, and it's pretty awesome. If you haven't made bellows, it is crazy difficult, at least for the first time you do it, I guess. I don't know, I never did it more than once. But much props to this guy for creating this camera. It's so cool. I love that kind of stuff. It's really exciting to me. And I remember when I was younger and I was going around gallery shows, there was some guy, I don't know what his name, if someone knows his name, please tell me. He used to put a pinhole camera in his mouth, and then his mouth would be the shutter, and he would hold 2 strobes and go, and let the strobes fire, and then that would be his exposure. And every one of his photos had a silhouette of his teeth line as the frame, and people were just like this. It was so cool. And he would close his mouth, spit it into a dark bag, and then go process it. I love this kind of stuff. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, so to the photo community and the super nerds out there, thank you for existing. I love you. I'm gonna leave you there with the news. I just wanna clue you into some big news in the Adorama front. So right here, Adorama XP on Twitch. Guess what? The first 3,000 followers are entered in a raffle to win this MSI GE73 Raider laptop. Pixie Peachy, who won the first laptop on the first 1,000 follower giveaway, is doing a takeover this week. You could win a laptop. All you have to do is be within the first 3,000 followers of twitch.tv/AdoramaXP. And that's it. Once we hit 3,000 followers, all the names are in a randomizer. We pull a name. You have just as much a chance as anyone else. Even if you've been following since day one, if you didn't win, you may have a second chance. If you haven't followed AdoramaXP, get on Twitch. Go follow this channel and come hang out with me and Josh Schley every Sunday. We're sitting around talking video games, going through topics, going through news, talking about technology, talking about our experiences over the years with it. I know I'm talking fast because I really get excited about this community. I think Twitch has one of the coolest communities in social media, hands down, and we're hoping you can be a part of ours. So get in there. First 3,000 followers. We're only up to 1,060, so there's plenty of room for you guys to pile in, and you get a chance to win. When I talked about the camera being a box that lets a certain amount of light in for a certain amount of time, well, I'll be going live tomorrow right here showing you creative exposures in camera using shutter drag, constant light, some strobe, stuff like that. So hit the link below, come join me. If you miss it, it'll stay up there on Adorama's Facebook. If you're in New York, come out to the event space. I'll be here 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here at Adorama, shooting live right here. You'll see all the shutter drag, ghosty stuff. If you watch the Paris video with the rainbow ghost drag, all that stuff, I'll be doing it live right here in front of your face. No post-edit. If you didn't know this was happening, by the way, Nigel Barker is back on our platforms doing the Top Photographer Challenge. Yeah, so in the link below that I'm putting, adorama.com/TPC, Top Photographer Challenge. Every month he's issuing a challenge to you guys, and this month was portraits. The submissions already have been tagged, but I'm letting you, and the winner from this portrait challenge will win a $5,000 Canon prize package, and every month will be a different prize package for a different genre, action, landscape, whatever. So keep watching all that stuff. If you want to stay really vigilant, go to our Adorama IG TV page, which is right here on our Instagram. You just go right down to the middle. There's the IGTV icon. You click on it, and there's tons of videos. Here's the challenge he issued. Here's his portrait photography with Marissa. And then to get you guys started, Daniel Norton did tips for portrait photography in case you didn't even shoot anything yet. and you can go check out these videos. And this will happen every month. If you missed out on this portrait one, don't fret. There's a few months of this in the making. So just keep watch on Adorama's IG TV. Go to adorama.com/TPC, and you guys will stay up to date on what's going on. Each challenge is completely different. You might have a plethora of images to tag. Go for it. Knock yourself out. And I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna do this though for the question of the week. What's some DIY projects in photo that you're psyched on? I really love this smallest view camera, but I mean, you guys have seen me use stuff like pizza boxes for reflectors. Oh, look at that, look. Oh, look at the shadows filling, look. Oh, the shadows filling. Oh, wait. Oh, do I look prettier, guys? Do I look prettier? Let me know what some of your favorite DIY contraptions have been over the years. If you're an analog person, other cameras that you've built. If you're a digital person, is there some way you've brought analog into the digital realm? What's some really crazy hacks that you've had out there? I want to know. I'll share some with you down in the comments. Write me in the comments. Obviously, man, I am just going too fast today. Sorry about that, guys. I will see you guys next week. Share this around, hit like, and remember, we're trying to get to 1 million subscribers, and you're already part of it. If you found this video and you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe. We're so close to that mill, and you know Adorama's gonna do something bananas. Be 1 in a million, subscribe. I'll see you guys on Facebook tomorrow, the IGTV at some point this month, Adorama's Twitch page, my own channels, all sorts of stuff. Thank you guys so much for being part of Adorama's platforms. We can't do this without you guys watching, and the one thing Adorama does really great is community, and you are part of it. Thank you so much. I'm out of here. Peace.